Hey everyone, welcome back to Rolling Stone Acres. It's new tractor day here on the property, and I'm super excited about this. This is the day I've been waiting for a long time, and I want to bring you all along for the journey. So we're going to get the trailer hooked up, and I've got my pickup with the chains and the binders inside, obviously, so we can strap it down. And we'll talk about it a little bit more on the way, but yeah, let me get hooked up and we'll be rolling. All right, so this is the trailer I picked up for it. I had to upgrade from my previous trailer. This is a 16-foot. I went with the flatbed, just a little easier to haul. Like if I have the brush hog on the back, it doesn't have that dovetail. I preferred it to be flat. We've got ramps on the back. Rated to haul about 5,500 pounds, which should be pretty close for the tractor. The tractor, with the loaded tires and all the implements, we're going to be knocking on the door of that, but I probably won't haul all the implements at one time. I did pick up some chains and binders, used some of the gift cards I had and stuff, saved some money on that. Just ordered the chains off of Amazon. Those are 4 10-foot chains. I've got a clevis if I need it. So we should be ready to roll. Okay, we are on the road after a few delays, and we are doing the best we can. We ran into a little snag. I thought I knew where I was going and didn't turn the GPS on, and it's a long story. I won't bore you with the details, but showing 10 minutes out, and just want to talk to you a little bit about tractors. Okay, I started this journey, it's been almost a year, a good probably 10 months of researching. Didn't know anything about compact tractors, didn't know anything about, very little about tractors, I guess, and thought if I was going to go buy a tractor, I was going to buy a green one, right? I mean, how much more American can you get than that? And went and visited a dealer and a nice, salesman, and then I got sticker shock. So, long story short, that led me to some other options. I did check out the Kubotas, and they were a very nice tractor, very good reputation, maybe a little bit less than the John Deere. Have a really cool insurance / I guess it's not really warranty, it's insurance. I mean, you can roll the thing down a cliff and they'll give you a new tractor, which is really cool. I do like that. That led me to some other ones. Of course, you step outside of that realm, then you get into the Korean-made tractors, TYM, Coyote, LS, Yanmar. I think Yanmar is actually Japan, but research all up and down the board. And this might shock you a little bit when we get there and I show you what I actually bought. But here's the deal. This guy had this one for sale. It's got to be, goodness, it might be 8 months ago. And I messaged him on it, and we chatted back and forth a little bit. And it only had 19 hours on it. Had most of the accessories that I needed. Had the third function for the grapple in the front. Third function is so you can open and close a grapple, and you can use some other accessories on the front end loader, which I'll explain more later. But anyway, long story short, he took it off Marketplace because he was just getting bombarded with messages like people do, and they get sick of it, and I understand that. And then he's the kind of guy that doesn't really need to sell it, and he said, you know what, I'm going to pull it down. If you're still interested, let me know, but I might just keep it. And I was like, okay, well, I'll keep it in mind. And some things fell through on the property that we were looking at, and it just kind of got put by the wayside. Well, then when things started ramping up and we found a property, I got a hold of him again, and he still had it and had a couple more hours on it because he does use it occasionally. And I was like, are you still interested in selling it? And he's like, yeah, I would sell it. So I went up there and looked at it. This is probably a month ago or more, maybe 5-6 weeks now. And, kind of struck a deal. And today's the day. Obviously, we're going to pick it up. So put your guess in right now in the comments what you think it is. And we'll see you soon. All right, here it is. Was that your guess? This is a Bobcat CT 2025. Has the box blade, pallet forks, bucket of course, and a grapple. Pallet forks and grapple I think he's bringing right now. He's not quite here yet, but look at this thing. It is like brand new in every way. I believe it has 24 or 25 hours. I mean, it is just, couldn't ask for a better used one in my opinion. I'm a bargain hunter, and I love stuff that's like this, where somebody bought it and just didn't use it. And I'm super excited. We're gonna get it loaded up and strapped down and get it back to Rolling Stone Acres. See you soon. All right, so I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about why I chose this particular tractor over all the other brands that I looked at. And the main reason, of course, was the value. I really felt I was getting the most for my money with this tractor, not necessarily the Bobcat, but because I found it on Marketplace with only, less than 25 hours on it. This is the direct brother to the Coyote CK2620. Tractors are identical with the exception of the loader. Bobcat builds their own loader, but if you painted this tractor orange and put it on the lot, it is basically the spitting image of the Coyote. The controls, the steering wheel, the dash, the engine, transmission, everything is the same. Parts are interchangeable. If I was getting down to the end and I was getting very close, I was getting down to either the TYM T25 or the Coyote CK2620. I wanted to stay in the 25 horsepower class because I didn't want to deal with emissions and all of that. And I wanted something with a good reputation, a model that they've built for a while, where parts are going to be available for a while. And when this one popped up, my only concern with this tractor was the fact that because Bobcat builds the loader, it is rated quite a bit less. It's rated at, I believe, just under 1,400 pounds, where when you go buy a Coyote and they use their loader, it's rated at almost 2,000 pounds. My biggest concern was being able to lift and carry a round bale safely, like a 4x6 round bale, because when it gets to be the middle of winter and I got to feed these guys back here, I don't even know if you can see them, they're back there. I'm probably going to have to get some round bales from my neighbor just to supplement, January, February, when things kind of deteriorate a little bit around here. So I watched some videos. I saw people lift a round bale, carry a round bale, no problem. So that put my mind at ease with that. And like I said, I did get, obviously, the tractor, the pallet forks, the box blade, and the grapple. We'll talk about the grapple here in just a little bit. I bought this separately, which is an auger for, we planted, I think, 28 trees on the property. And I have a 12-inch and a 24-inch auger for that. That comes in super handy. I bought the Woods brush hog on Marketplace separately. Very good investment. Very happy with that. That's a very well-built brush hog. Did some research on those as well. And that works flawlessly. The grapple is not my favorite. This is more designed for a skid steer. It's a little big and it's a little heavy for this tractor. It does work fine. In the future, I probably will sell this on Marketplace and buy more of a clamshell where it kind of pinches at the top like this versus having that that out the front like that. It doesn't cover the whole grapple, which I don't care for, and the one I'm talking about would cover the full length, so you'd have it where you can go over the top of like a brush pile and grab it and move it, where this, it still does, but like I said, it's a little bit heavy. That's probably 375, 400 pounds. The ones I'm looking at are more of, around 200 pounds, so half the weight. So what that does, it gives me more lifting capacity. Happy with everything else. The pallet forks, everything else is great. The auger, use that all the time, like I said. This tractor and most tractors on the market use what they call the skid steer quick attach, or SSQA. In other words, I can flip these levers up and I can drive in any one of those implements and drive away. One of the things that steered me away from John Deere, and I'm not picking on John Deere. If you own a John Deere tractor. I would still love to own a John Deere tractor one day, but I am a little bit, I don't know how you say it. I don't like the fact that they use proprietary implements. You can get an adapter plate, yes, I know, and you can drive into any one of these implements with an adapter plate on a John Deere. I understand that, but that's just more weight and more things to fool around with. John Deere uses a completely different system than this. This system, the skid steer quick attach, is used on Coyote, on Bobcat, on Kubota, on TYM. I'm pretty sure LS. I didn't look into LS a whole lot because I don't have a dealer close by here, so I wouldn't buy an LS tractor. LS makes a good tractor. I just wouldn't buy one because no dealer support close to me. This, I have a couple dealers within a short distance here if I ever need anything from them. So anyway, I'm probably boring you with a lot of details, but I really like this tractor. I use this thing all the time. I've had it for just over 3 months, and I'm up to just shy of 53, I think 52.9 hours or 53 hours. I just completed the 50-hour service not long ago, where that entailed, of course, engine oil, transmission, and hydraulic oil, which is in the same, it uses the same. Transmission and hydraulic oil run off the same. It's filled back here. You can see I did the filters on there, and I put the date on there and the hours. That's always handy when you have to remember things like me, because I forget. I added this, it's getting windy out here, we got a storm brewing, hopefully you can hear me okay. I added this like ammo box. There was these tabs here already, and I just used a piece of angle iron. I might modify that a little bit. I've got some chains and some tools and things in there. I have a bigger one that I might mount on as well. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. This is I got this from GoodWorks Tractors. This is a quick hitch. So instead of having to mess around with your 3-point every time you want to hook something up, you can just back up to it. I don't even have to get off the seat, and I can back up and hook, my box blade. I can hook up the brush hog, but you have to, of course, get off and put the PTO on, the drive shaft for the PTO. What I was trying to say was, I've seen where guys put the ammo cans here as well, just kind of bolted to the fender, because you don't really get off of this side because there's no step over here. So I might do that. I have 2 of them. I have a bigger one. I might put the bigger one on the other side. I did add the hooks. I welded those on and then just kind of touched it up. I got the Bobcat spray paint and touched those up, so number 1, they don't rust, and number 2, they match. I might have to do it a little bit more. I see I've been playing in the gravel. It does have the 3rd function. If you don't know what that is, that allows me to run the grapple, to open and close the grapple, and allows me to spin my my auger. And I would not own a tractor without that. That is the handiest thing, and you can see it right on the joystick here. Open and close the grapple, or forward and reverse on the auger. Just pretty basic throttle. I did buy a cruise control kit for this. I have not installed it yet. That's handy when you're brush hogging. And the other thing I like about this tractor is, oops, I just put the loader down. It is a removable loader, and it has the loader controls back here. A lot of them have the loader controls right here, and that's fine. To me, it's just not as ergonomically friendly, and I just feel like you can be back here, and a hand on the control is pretty easy. It's pretty comfortable. I maybe one day will add the rear remotes, the hydraulics for the rear, so that I can run hydraulics off the rear, obviously for like a wood splitter or a top and tilt kit. They make a hydraulic ram that goes in here, so instead of having to adjust this by hand, you would have a ram there, and then you would have an additional lever that comes up here. That's what that empty slot is for, so you can adjust your tilt on your 3-point from the seat, which is pretty awesome. So a lot of information I know I'm throwing at you. I really like this tractor. I wanted to do a video on it for anyone who might be interested. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I've got gobs and gobs of information in my head about this tractor, so if you want to know something, let me know. It is a 25 horsepower. Sorry, I know it's windy out here. I hope you can hear me. 25 horsepower, and I did that. I may have said that already, but I'm going to repeat myself. I didn't want the emissions. You get above 25 horsepower, and you start getting into emissions. Now, this tractor, I've seen some videos where you can actually turn this up and get about 30 or 31 horsepower out of it, just doing a little fine tuning, and I may do that. It's a very simple procedure, and I would do a video on that if I ever decide to do it. But right now, it has not let me down. And when we bought this property, it was so overgrown. The weeds, or the grass, I guess I should say, was actually taller than the tractor. There was a racetrack back here with a lot of hills, and it was a mess. You couldn't even see the back of the property. It was all overgrown. I rented a Mini X to take down the racetrack. I probably could have done it with the tractor, but I didn't want to. Tractors aren't bulldozers, right? So I thought it'd be easier and quicker. And I also needed the Mini X to kind of reshape the pond. That's why I didn't rent a skid steer. So I used that Mini X to knock down the hills, and then we used the tractor. My son helped me and spread the dirt around to kind of level it out back there. And the Mini X worked great around the pond. Someday I'll take you back there and show you that. So just trying to be good stewards of the land we've been blessed with. We've got the cattle back there. They're doing a good job of munching on the grass and kind of keeping it. It's a little bit overgrown here, but they're doing a good job of keeping that trimmed, I guess we'll say. And yeah, just thanks for coming along. I know I kind of rambled on and on. This is kind of a passion of mine. I really like taking care of this property and having this tractor. I'm blessed to be able to have something like this, and it really works well. And I just want to thank you so much for clicking on this video, and I hope you like it, and I hope you subscribe and leave a comment. And remember,
y'all be kind to each other, and God loves you.